Kamusta there, guys. What is up? It is the Drax6 dude here, and today we're going to go right into the biggest topic in Battlefield since it has been released. Now, throughout the first couple of months, it has been a very solid game. But, as we all know, as we all should perfectly well know, that Battlefield has seen better days. You know, I've never seen this bad of a game this far into its life cycle, and it just baffles me. What are they doing? Maybe it's because of the crappy perception we have given the title. Maybe they just don't care anymore. And that's another reason why I don't like these really awful negative reviews that just make no sense. Like the whole gender thing, why it matters, but we're gonna go into that. That doesn't matter. We're gonna go right into the gameplay itself. We're not gonna talk about any of that, mainly because it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. And to be honest, I really don't care what they do to their games, because it's not like we're gonna digest it any differently. And if you do, I just don't understand why you would have such a big issue with that. But let's continue on to the big problems. This game is bad, and I'm not saying that in this sort of context of it's a very, like, it's just not well put together in the sense of there's not enough guns, weapons, etc., which I honestly believe there should be more maps than, was it like 11 at this point? 9 or 10? 9 to 11. If you even fathom why I have to think about how many maps there are in the game. There's not enough maps. If you even have to think about how many maps are in the game, you honestly, they should have more maps at this point. Guns. And the whole idea of this content system being rolled out the way it is. You know, how it is, was it like every 3 to 4 weeks you get a gun. And that's just not, that's not right. Alright? I shouldn't have to wait a month for a new gun. And sometimes they go one after the other, 3 in a row. But I shouldn't have to wait a month for a gun. And I'm not going to go and do these camos, because I don't really care about the camos. I mean, it's nice to have, but honestly, I'm not going to waste my time doing something I don't like in the game, which I like assignments, don't get me wrong, if they are connected to what you do normally in the game and you don't have to go obscurely look for certain assignments to do them. And that's basically what this game has done. And don't get me wrong, this game is completely buggy as hell. We're not going to get into that because we all know how buggy the game is right now. And with invisible tanks now, invisible tanks. How do you mess up a texture that bad? You know what, maybe I don't know gaming. I don't know how these games are made. You know what, maybe it takes a little bit more brain power to texture a vehicle. But let's not dove into that at the moment. Let's talk about how just the content system is. I don't understand what direction DICE was heading with when it came to the distribution of content. And don't get me wrong, I like the live content stuff. And this is coming from a guy who really likes it. I like this idea that I'm getting new content more frequently than like once every 4 months. Like, I didn't like that. I really didn't. And with this, there was times in Battlefield 1 where it took 6 months for a new content to release. But in this game, with 3 maps and we're almost a year into its life cycle, or less, there's probably less. If you don't count the one that was supposed to come at launch, or not at launch, but a couple months, or a month after launch. 2 maps at most. I don't know if they made. I don't know if there's a second one, because every time I see a new map, it's always some sort of like they fly YouTubers out, and it's misleading because, you know, YouTubers do that. But it just baffles me. What are these guys thinking when it comes to the content system? Because the whole idea of a live content system is to get people to keep playing the game, repeatedly stay in the game. And I keep finding myself using company coin to buy guns because I just keep forgetting that they're there. I don't want to go on a certain week and do some sort of camo challenge. And it just baffles me why they would release something like this in the way I like the live content stuff. Moving stuff out and giving people stuff frequently, like every couple weeks. Every week there's a new gun. Actually I would go maybe every 2 weeks or maybe every 3. But when you're releasing guns, these main things that we play this game for, we play to shoot people with the guns. That's what we do. We shoot people with World War II weaponry. I want to use different guns. And as I'm going to be showing some sort of, this is the new rifle that was added to the assault class, I'm going to be talking about the snipers and how they're just crap. And I don't want to make a side-along video because I could talk about how bad the snipers are. And I'm not even going into the whole idea that there's no sweet spot mechanic. I never used the sweet spot mechanic. But this idea that when you're using a sniper rifle, it doesn't matter if you're at long range, medium range, you are at a severe disadvantage, especially if the other person is using a Sturmgewehr or a Gewehr 43 or a Gewehr 1.5 or any sort of rifle of that nature. Even an SMG sometimes, I swear, you get outmatched like that. Boom, you're dead. It doesn't matter how many bullets you put into them, because as soon as you pull the trigger for the second pull, which you would have to because the snipers are they're so slow, by the time you hit that second trigger, you're dead. You don't even have time to think about it. And with how slow it is, you take away that one shot or one hit kill potential. You really make the sniper class the worst class to play, even if you are a sniper expert. And you know what? Maybe some people really enjoy the class, and that's, you know, all fine and dandy to them. Alright? I'm happy for them. Hopefully they continue to have fun with that class. I am not advising people to stop using that class. I just want people to understand that it's unfair for people who use that class, because that class is severely underpowered when it comes to the rest of the meta in the game. But obviously, the reason why you're here is for me to rant about Battlefield 5, and that's not exactly what I want to do. This game is so good too, and don't get me wrong, I am a Battlefield fanboy, alright? And this is me telling you that this game is bad from a Battlefield fanboy perspective, considering that I wanted a World War II game the entire year, the entire life cycle of Battlefield 1, and almost into Battlefield 4. I've wanted a World War II Battlefield with updated graphics, with big maps, with tanks, planes, and all the World War II weaponry you can pack into the game that is legally possible. But with that being said, you don't get that with this game, and it's completely blasphemous to say that this game is good. I will never say this game is good until they fix the problems, they add in more content at a more frequent rate. And don't get me wrong, I want to say this game is great. I want to sit here and tell you about all the amazing ways you can play this game, but I find myself using the Sturmgewehr so often when I play this game because I don't want to deal with other things that aren't going to help me at all. In other games, especially other Battlefield titles, 1, Hardline, 4, 3, Bad Company 2, you can use a decent majority of their weapons and be decent with them. There was guns that were great, but you could still utilize every gun. Tell me what you guys think here in the comment section down below, and please share this to your friends, man. Please hit that like. Please. We're going for 2 likes. 2.